My name's Chris Jordan. I'm the Tax Justice Campaign Manager at ActionAid UK.
So corporate tax avoidance is a big issue for you around this G8. Why is it such a big issue to you guys?
Tax avoidance has been a huge issue in the UK for a number of months now. I think certainly since the Starbucks revelations, Google, Apple, Facebook, the issue has grown and grown. But the same thing is happening in many of the developing countries as well. The world's poorest countries are losing billions to tax avoidance, big companies using tax havens to shift their profits out of the countries they do business. That has a massive impact on the ordinary people who live there, and it makes it much harder for those governments to fight poverty and to end hunger. So that's why we're really focused on this issue now.
But some of these firms that you mentioned who seem to be, or appear to be avoiding tax, they're creating jobs, so what's the problem?
Well, we don't think it's an either-or situation. We think it's fantastic for businesses to invest in the developing world. Jobs are absolutely needed, and they should be encouraged to go in there and do that. But at the same time, there's no excuse for not paying a fair share of taxes where companies do business. And it's particularly not fair on the local businesses who are often trying to compete. So in Zambia, for example, I've met with market stall holders who pay a tax stamp every single day that they're in the market. Now, these people who are eking out a living are sometimes paying more in corporation tax effectively than massive and very profitable multinational companies that are operating just next door.
What's the deal that you want to see?
Well, we want to see an end to tax haven secrecy. That means a couple of things. First, any country must be able to share information and get information out of tax havens. At the moment, if money or a transaction goes into a tax haven, often it's a black box that nobody can see into. So they need to be able to investigate what's happening, share that information with tax havens, and everybody needs to get that information automatically. Secondly, we need to make sure that individuals and companies aren't hiding behind these phantom shell companies. We need a public register of the real beneficial owners of companies that are registered in tax havens.
There's no proof, though, that if some of the developing countries get this money back, that they're actually going to reinvest it into infrastructure and to help the poorest people, though, is there?
I think actually lots of the developing countries are making real strides in that. So take Ghana, for instance. Ghana's revising its tax laws, it's bringing more people into the tax base, and it's also investing the money well in providing the roads, the infrastructure that business needs to expand, but also putting more children in education, which will have a transformative effect in years to come. So yes, corruption is an issue, but there's lots and lots of people out there in Africa holding their governments to account, scrutinising budgets, making sure the money is going in the right place. That's an ongoing task, but it's being done.
So the evidence is there from people in the know, research, statistics and so on, but is it a real concern for general public, in Britain and abroad?
I think it is a real concern, yeah. People are really angry. In the current economic circumstances that we find ourselves in the UK, people expect that big profitable companies should be paying a fair share of tax in the place that they do business. That's ordinary people, that's small businesses too, making that point. We've done polling quite regularly that shows between 70 and 80% of the UK population want much tougher government action to clamp down on this kind of thing. But you see it around the world too. So our colleagues in Zambia who've been doing lots of campaigning around tax justice and around making sure they're getting a fair deal from multinationals, the people that they speak to and their newspapers and their politicians are as outraged as people in the UK. This is really a global issue, and the solutions are global too.
So Britain's hosting the G8 this time round. David Cameron's got a real opportunity, hasn't he?
David Cameron's got a real opportunity to turn the words on tax havens and tax dodging into real, decisive international action. Now, that means he needs to end tax haven secrecy, make sure that all companies and countries can get hold of the information that they need, and individuals can't hide behind dodgy shell corporations. This is a big global problem, but the G8 could make a massive move towards solving it.